Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Ball IQ Podcast. Tolu Real Madrid fan,
Nelson, Chelsea fan.
and
What a
to
day.
say that again,
What a day.
what a day. Yep, today would, per usual, take you through results recap over the past week, deep dive on the game of the week. It's kind of boring, but we'll do it nonetheless. We'll do IQ finish of the week, IQ play of the week, and upcoming fixtures that we would keep an eye on for the next week. How you doing, man? How's the hate watch today? Let's just
Good. I feel like everybody who's a fan of the Prem was watching with bated breath. I mean, whether you're a Spurs fan, a United fan, or a fan of another Big Six team, or anybody who's been victimized by Manchester United over the past 10 odd years, 15 years, you were there. We were there. And it delivered. It delivered.
deliver it,
We'll get
victimize,
into it. We'll get
victimize,
into it.
victimize is crazy. But I mean, last time we spoke, Barcelona hadn't technically sealed the La Liga. They have now convincing 2-0 win away to Espanyol. Our boy Lamine again,
Oh
goal.
my goodness.
He's Yeah, he runs this right now. Let's just call it for what it is. He's big dog at 17, which is crazy. Um,
Insane.
Betis lost 4-1 to Atletico, which means
Mm.
Champions League qualifications. So pretty much top four is pretty much top five is pretty much set in Spain with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, Villarreal, and Athletic Club. Our
Mm.
conf- but yeah, so Lamine is him right now, and we're just gonna have to accept that that's his reign. Is his reign. But yeah,
Mm.
confirming it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, then Athletic Club in fourth, and Villarreal made Champions League qualifications in fifth by
Mm.
Barcelona at home. That was a fun game to watch. Like they were just beating their high. Nicolas Pepe had a good game, by the way.
Oh my gosh. That's a name I haven't heard.
Nicolas Pepe had a good game, so it was one of those. It was one of those games. I mean, Barcelona played well, but Villarreal just caught them slipping pretty much. So,
Yeah.
but Spain is pretty much set. Everybody knows what they're doing there for the
Hmm.
top four, but everyone knows what they're doing there. But in England, like you complained about last episode, Villa beat Spurs, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to beat United this coming week.
Frustrating, but obviously there's a gap in quality between Villa and United currently. So
Yeah.
and how they approach the game. So it is frustrating for sure. But it also sets up for a very dramatic last day.
Last thing. Yes, speaking of United, you guys beat Chelsea beat United 1-0. That
Yes,
was
sir.
the setup
It
by
was.
the finish. There were like four or five bodies in the box when he crossed.
Mm.
Like, that is pretty aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, that move, the spin was lovely, just a bit of quality, world class. I mean, this is the longest we've seen Reese, healthy. I have things to say about like how he's been used this season, but the best thing, by far, the best take home is he's been healthy, and when he's healthy, he can deliver on moments of brilliance like he did this weekend. Cucurella, I mean, what a redemption story.
Euros. His redemption
Yeah,
started from Euros. Yeah.
it started in the Euros. Maresca has really under Maresca, he's delivered on the price tag that was paid. He has more goals than Rasmus Højlund. He's more assists than Rasmus Højlund.
Why, Ras? What you started?
Well, just I mean, we were playing
Why?
United. We were playing United, so it was topical. It was topical, but them's the facts, Tolu. And it's really nice to see him. It's really nice to see him sort of take the mantle. of prolific fullbacks at Chelsea. It reminds me of the way this man scores. It's different, but he reminds me of like Marcus Alonso in the sense that in a moment of desperation, he's like, y'all aren't getting into the box like y'all need to. And
Yeah,
he just takes it on himself. So really a great season. Uh, Great move uh, by Cucurella to be open and James with the turn was lovely.
great header too. Like
Yeah.
that. I mean, people say he should score, but it's not as easy.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
But
the just the amount of United players who were just watching the ball after that turn, um, yeah, it's pretty damning.
yeah. Anyway, that happened. You needed that victory based after the Newcastle loss. Speaking of Newcastle, they lost to Arsenal 1-0. That Declan
Mhm.
Rice goal was a good goal. That was
It
a cool.
was.
But excuse me, that game, I mean, I don't know about you, but the last couple of weeks, I think that the quality, apart from the Classical and the Champions League, Inter, Barca both plays, and pretty much every Barcelona game. The quality of the games I've been watching have kind of dropped. People are in results business now. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't matter the um, level of performance or aesthetically pleasing performances. It's just like, did you win? Okay, let's go to the next game. And
Yeah.
that the Arsenal Newcastle game, based on their forms and where they are on the table, you would think it was like, and their style of play too. You would think it would have been an exciting game. It wasn't really exciting.
Nah. At this point in the season, yeah, nobody's. It's kind of like you can tell, you can sense the nerves in the beginning of the game, and then you can sense the desperation towards the end of the game. Maybe about 50, 70, 70th minute time, you'll see a goal, and then after that goal, slamp,
So,
lockdown. So, that's the MO. It's the business end of the season. It just matters so much. And yeah, that was a narrow win, but I think it was important for both clubs. Um, or Newcastle's already qualified for the Champions League, I believe. No, no, excuse me. They if they lose to
Everton.
is it Everton? Okay, okay,
They are they're third or fourth actually because City won. Hang on, I'm pulling it up right now. Yes, they're fourth with 66 behind
that's right.
City has 68, Newcastle 66, Chelsea 66, Aston Villa 66, Forest
That's right.
65.
That's right. So we played Forest, Villa plays United, and Newcastle plays Everton. You know, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but just there's a couple of looking at the fixtures this coming week, and we'll get into it obviously, but there's a couple that I'm not really expecting. It's kind of like a formality, and I think that Spurs, or excuse me, that Newcastle Everton game is probably one of those. I think Newcastle will batter them at St. James.
Yeah, at St. James, yeah. I mean, I think that's the uh, uh,
The
advantage,
key.
the key advantage that they have. Really quick couple seconds just to acknowledge a legend played his last home game, Kevin De Bruyne, against Bournemouth. Shame that he was taken off because of a red, but still, just one of the Premier League greats, graced
Legend.
Man City's ground for the last time. Who knows where he's going, right? I don't know where he's going.
I I would imagine Saudi, but we'll see. KDB, it's funny when he was once upon a time at Chelsea. What really happened when you look at it, we rated Oscar over Kevin De Bruyne.
Mhm.
Um, some say that's a mistake, but anybody who watched that Juventus Chelsea
Oh,
group stage United, you know the
that's
one.
good, bro.
Yeah, the flick past Pirlo and the top bins on Buffon. Yeah, at that point we are like KDB. Oh yeah, go
That'd be
to
great. But to be fair, like I mean, the story is, I think if let Jose tell it, the story
Mhm.
is we wanted him around, but KDB wanted more game
He
time.
wanted more. Yeah, he wanted more at that point, and we had so many midfielders who were very, very talented.
Yeah.
You know, there's no. But anyway, what a story! What a legend! What a player! Um, literally.
Yeah. Um, and just to end this with the England segment, Crystal Palace win their first trophy in. We were going for them. Where you specifically mentioned Eze and he scored.
Very edgy. I mean, Eze is just. I feel like we have watched this lad grow season after season. I feel like he's fully. He's in his final form.
Yeah.
Peak of his powers. They slapped a huge price tag on him last window, 60 million for the release cause. Nobody came to get him. I think he took that personally. He's been playing very well.
Scored again
I
after the.
again, he's what a player for Palace he is. And with that win, I hope they're able to keep most of their players Palace and kind of build on it. I'm sure they'll lose a couple. They're kind of a selling club historically, but um, massive win. They never won a trophy, correct? Never won a trophy. City is desperately clinging to the Community Shield, I think, as their only trophy won this season. So they can eat dinner off of that if they'd like.
Not
But
smiling. I can see the smirk.
I,
Your
you know,
eyelid is quivering.
I'm just gonna stay humble, Sean, because there's still business to be done, but on my end. But yeah, trophyless seasons by a team that's yeah has denied several people of trophies. So we love to see it.
I would love to see it. Well, I can't speak too much because my Madrid also technically went trophyless, but let's move on. With the
Super
burning man.
Cup is Super Cup is better than the Community Shield, Sean. Is that what you're? It is.
Fair. Yeah, fair, fair. I'll take that. Um, we're going to Italy. Roma bounced back from their loss. They beat Milan 3-1, so Milan is out of Champions League. They can kiss you goodbye. Uh, Inter Lazio was 2-2. I don't know if you saw the game, but there was control.
Highlights.
Um, Bisek was like out, like he got a handball called against him.
Yeah,
Hand was like to his side, but I think the chicken wing. I mean, that was kind of rough. Like
a
there were a
little
couple of
bit.
decisions in that game where if I was an Inter fan, I would be livid
Yeah,
because Napoli also dropped points away to Parma. So if Inter had won, they would have been up.
yeah.
Um, but again, it all sets up for a grand finale this
The
weekend.
final day.
That Parma Napoli game, if Napoli had won, they would have won the title.
Mm.
They hit the post twice, three times.
Ah.
Antonio Conte got sent off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both Inzaghi and Conte both got sent off in these respective games, which is funny. This is the most Italian thing ever, but
It was
um, but also just speaks to it's a testament to how I mean it's that level right now.
yes,
Really truly.
yes, it is
It's yeah, it's setting up for I can't wait for this weekend to be honest. It's just I
uh,
mean,
Sunday.
mhm,
We will be there Sunday. We will
yeah.
be there. To wrap up Italy real quick, Fiorentina beat Bologna 3-2.
Mm,
Moise Kean, there's a clip of him going viral because he's celebrating in front of one of the Bologna players, but apparently the backstory is that guy was taunting him after a goal or something.
mm.
Had a little clap back. That was fun. But that also, if I'm not mistaken, puts Bologna out of like the top five finish because they are currently eighth. Fiorentina is seventh with the same points, but both of them are 4 points away from actually more than 4 points. They are 5 points away from fourth in Italy, which is a Champions League space. So with one game to go, they can't win. It's now between obviously the top two of Napoli and Inter. Napoli is ahead by a point, so they just need to match whatever Inter is doing this weekend. Atalanta is bang on third. Juve is currently fourth, which is crazy based on the season they've had,
Yeah.
but they're 67 points. Roma, which is also crazy based on the season they've had before Ranieri came, they're fifth in 60 with 66, so a point out. And Lazio is sixth with 65 points. So
Mm.
66, 67. It's all fighting for four.
That's all
So
to
there's
play
a
for.
lot of things to watch out for this
Mm.
Sunday.
I have a soft spot for Roma. I always have. I don't know why. I think they've had a couple of our players that I mean, I always like watching Paulo Dybala play when they had him, and then when Tammy was signed, and then the Jose era, the Ranieri era just ended. Um, I just like the way I like the way they conduct their business for some reason.
It goes back as far as Totti for me. Like everybody liked Francesco.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Uh,
exactly.
the peak El Shaarawy, you know,
That's another one. You can't. There's a baller.
Chris Smalling.
Yeah, Smalling had a resurgence there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were calling him Small.
absolutely.
They were calling him Small Dini. That's how good he was.
Yeah, man.
Spinazzola,
Yeah, Spinazzola
back in the
was
day,
great.
like Roma is a big club.
They're a fun club to watch.
Yeah, fun club to watch for sure. So obviously all eyes on in Italy this weekend. Um, so yeah, those are like top. Spain is done. The only thing that we're looking out for is top four, top five in England, and top four and the champions of Italy is what we'll be focused on this weekend.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you mentioned City trophyless first time since 16-17, which is Pep's first season. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Real Madrid is also first trophyless season since I can't remember when, a couple years now.
Mm. These types of teams, though, you don't laugh openly about those types of performances because those are very powerful footballing institutions. You laugh too hard, they'll come in, they'll steal your girl. They're not above that. They'll come and they'll take your best player, or they'll just go and they'll get exactly what they're missing and
And
come back
Rod, Rod,
levels.
Rodri's back. We signed
Hmm.
Dean Huijsen. I keep forgetting how to say his name. Uh, oh, I've been saying this to you. I've been saying it to our cousins in the group chat, but I just want to say it on wax, right? Looks like Trent Alexander-Arnold is coming to Real Madrid, right?
Mm,
The player that I wanted instead has been on a madness, and he'll be cheaper, way cheaper.
mm.
Trent is coming for free, but I think we need to go for Crystal Palace's Daniel Munoz.
Oh, Munoz is a player.
He is exactly what we need because in Real Madrid, as a fullback, you have to be strong 1v1. So I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know how they're gonna do with Trent. I don't know. Because Danny Carvajal is very strong 1v1 going forward and going forward as well. Just insert the cross for Rodrigo against
yeah.
City for numerous goals he scored. He scored in the Super Cup final for us. He's very good going forward, but very, very good defensively. Mendy is not great going forward, but Fit Mendy is probably the best defensive left back in the world. Like,
Mm,
can't
yeah,
get past.
yeah,
So just that player profile of Trent kind of worries me. But we'll see. I don't even know what at this point. Look at Dumfries. Give me Dumfries. You know what I
for
mean?
sure, for sure. I mean, Denzel Dumfries, I'm gonna say like, um, I was actually worried that Liverpool was gonna sign him to replace Trent because I think he's levels. He has everything. That semifinals game, I'd seen it. I'd seen enough. I was like, okay, this you're different.
Let me
And
start and him and put him on sale.
yeah, for real. So, um, yeah, just out of curiosity, the side that Trent's guarding is that the side that you Yamin's going to be going down?
No, no, no.
no. Okay, okay. Just wanted- But so the Rafinha side or the Mo side? Is the Rafinha side okay?
Yes, please. Stop
And
asking
then
too.
who? I just
I
you
know
see,
you.
I needed clarification.
Excuse me.
I
And
needed clarification. I just
one
asked.
house, please. One house, please. Let's stay on topic here, please. This is not the time to be bringing up nightmares, okay?
Fair,
Uh,
fair, fair.
just really quick before we go to IQ deep dive. I know we're short on time here, but
Mm,
I know we're talking in the uh, production meeting, quote unquote, that
of
we had
course.
about the game we're about to go into, which is Spurs United. The ramifications that United losing that game causes, which is a fire sale essentially. So calling all clubs if you need some stop by a United store real quick, get you a player because
Yeah.
they can't afford to keep Rashford, they can't afford to keep Sancho, they can't come on, who else?
Yeah, pure. I mean, you're talking anybody on Serious P's, which is everybody,
Yep.
and then everybody who is a pure profit sale. So Garnacho, Mainu. Um, I mean, there's many. I mean, I don't think they'd move on Ahmad. I think Ahmad Diallo and all them are probably they'd
Yeah.
probably say no. But I think there's a lot of players that are going to they're going to be sold just to make sure they stay afloat. And there's also players that are just not going to stay or not going to want to stay because the lack of Europe, European competition. That's such a big thing. I think this loss takes them from the market of Victor Osimhen and Victor
Yeah.
Gyökeres. It takes that, it switches it to Liam Delap at best. Liam Delap might even be like, maybe not, you know. I think obviously it's a release clause, so he's at the mercy of whatever club meets that clause. But um, it's a really big blow for United. And I can't remember a season, at least in my time, where a club this big is finished in such a dire situation. So, thoughts and prayers to those who support the club. I mean that,
No, you
and
do not. No, you do not.
and I think it's a conversely, to not take the piss, massive win for Spurs.
Yes.
Um, they have I was saying before the game started, that back line, you got Porro, Van de Ven, you got Romero,
And
and you've
Udogie.
got Udogi. Very, very strong back line. Midfield, very physical. You got Eves, Basuma. I mean, they just, I looked at their lineup and I was like,
Uh,
these guys are, these are big, physical,
dog.
strong. These are some dogs. And I mean, up front, it was not. Obviously, they're missing Kulusevski, they're missing Matters, they're missing Sonny, they're missing some pieces. But I think they can build off of this win. Long story short, they can replace some of the driftwood that they started up top in Richarlison, who should. I mean, honestly, I didn't forget that he played for the Spurs, but it's been a minute. In 2025, we're starting Richarlison in the final. Um, for them to pull it off was, there's a lot of players on Spurs that I was happy to see kind of get that off of their shoulder.
Funny.
Sonny most notably because I think I mean, he's a baller, and I don't like the narrative that he couldn't do that. I think he was capable of doing it. It's cool to see, from a third party standpoint, no bitterness. It's cool to see Kane and Sonny finally get over the hump. It's.
Yeah. I mean, and it continues the trend this season of ending trophy droughts from Bologna to Palace to Spurs to who else? Like. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
shout out Eddie Nketiah for leaving Arsenal and winning a trophy, man.
yeah.
At Palace.
Joe Ward, I think his name is Joe Ward. His last Palace game is he's leaving. He's the current captain. He's leaving with a trophy. Like a lot of fairy tale endings, and the season's not even over. So, but
Yeah.
quickly go into the deep dive and see how that final played out. I mean, final was it wasn't like a lot done tactically from my view. United played with a 3-4-2-1 system and with Shaw, Maguire, and Euro in the back.
Hmm.
They started Mazraoui right wing back, Dorgu left wing back, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. The two tens, quote unquote, were Ahmad and Mount, and don't laugh. And Hoyland was up top. And what United are trying to do is try to create triangles everywhere. So this triangle with between the Shaw and the left center back. He was playing more of a left back than anything. Dogu, who had a strong game. Casemiro on that side and Mount. And same thing on this side with Bruno, Yoro, Mazwari, and Ahmad. So that's how they're playing. But sometimes what you see is a shift here where if Dogu goes, Mazrari stays back, and Ahmad was primarily on the wing, even though he was listed as a 10, was primarily on the wing, and Mount was coming in as a second striker to play. So this formation starts as a 3-4-2-1, but it can easily switch to a 4-4-2.
Mm.
Uh, and off the ball, they were very like once the ball like is deep, let's say goal kicks, they were playing like 1v1, like every man for for every Spurs player. Like even Casemiro was high as well. But for Spurs, without the ball, they spent a lot of time without the ball in the mid block, like so,
Mm.
right? Um, Papissa was Yves Bissouma was pretty much playing like a um like his third center back because he was dropping in. Bentancur was there supporting with Sa, so they're playing something like this. Then Solanke was up top here. What's his name? Brandon Johnson who got the goal was on the right, and Richarlison on the left. And again, they're playing. This is Ahmad coming up here, Dogu coming up here. And this is pretty much what United were doing right here, trying to pin them down.
Mm.
And again, create triangles everywhere, right? The thing Spurs were doing that was successful when and they stopped doing after they got the goal because they shut the shop off was pretty much trying to two ways, right? Playing long ball straight to Solanke to battle with Maguire. Maguire won most of the battles, but his second, after he wins the battles, he made some mistakes there, and
Yeah.
they got some chances of it. Or when they win the ball and they break out, and everybody's obviously going back, and Spurs can push up. What they're doing is trying to create um, overloads, like triangles on each side. So something like this. And Bissouma just didn't go anywhere. He just stayed back there. No fancy stuff, no nothing. He just stayed. And what Spurs are doing is creating triangles here and triangles here. And the goal came from a nice interplay between Bentancur, Pape Sarr, who's playing the 10, and Richarlison.
Mm.
Um, Actually, Udogi's also stayed put, but I don't know what Bentancur was doing on this side. Like I think he just had the license to go where he thought he could create an overload. But they created a nice switch of exchange of play on the left, cross from um, what's his name, Pape Sarr. Brennan Johnson coming back post in front of Shaw, who
Yeah.
shared with him, and a couple of deflections in the goal. So after that, just went all the way back and
Mhm.
didn't look forward again. I don't even remember one chance, maybe a few, because a lot of the chances in the game came from set pieces anyway,
Yeah.
like throws and stuff like that. But it wasn't the greatest quality game.
No,
Um,
these are two teams that are at the bottom. I mean, bottom of the table teams. The bottom
lower
three
half
are
of the
say again.
lower half of the table.
Yeah, the bottom three teams that are getting relegated were championship teams in the beginning.
Yep.
So if you just omit those teams, these are
Yep.
the bottom of the barrel.
But to be fair though, like more, it was played like a final. Most finals are not really explosive.
Right.
Um, I mean, I don't want to. I know a lot of people, including myself, thought it was a low quality final, but I was thinking of it again, like what final really is exciting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, obviously the one that jumps to mind is the Liverpool AC Milan one.
Right.
But other than that, like
Yeah. It's mostly semifinals are crazy.
semi-final,
Yeah.
semi-final. So yes, it wasn't a great like entertaining final, but it was still stuff to see. Uh,
Hmm.
Van clearing off the line from Hoyland, and, like Vicario making a couple saves here and there. Ahmad, I thought was very, very good
Yeah.
for United. Bruno was a little quiet. Dogu was also very good for United, I thought. But wasn't to be. But
No.
yeah, so that IQ deep dive. Um, I know Nelson was very happy. Um, I
Yeah.
have a soft spot for United just because of my cousins, like our cousins. But
Hmm.
I didn't mind Spurs winning just to continue the trend of underdogs or people breaking
Yeah.
off and stuff like that. So
It's a London club that's won a pretty major European trophy. I mean, West Ham technically had won the
yep.
Europe, yeah, but that's part of why I was like maybe not Spurs, but at the same time, it's been the last time they won a trophy was against us. It was the League Cup, 2008. Um, I remember that game, and yeah, yeah, Dimitar Berbatov. I mean, Drogba scored early, and I remember getting cocky early, because I was like, it's Spurs, and then they effed around and won the thing. So it happens it happens every now and then. So congrats to them, and like you said, it is what it is.
Yeah, congrats to them for sure. Do we want to take the pause
Yeah, let's
now
take a brief pause, and we'll pivot back, and we'll finish up for you know, the the goal of the week and the player of the week.
and the upcoming fixtures too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All
All
right.
right. For the IQ finish of the week, Nelson, there were some goals this week. This past week, I think the professionals that they know that there's a title called IQ finish of the week, and they are showing off because I have a list. Fornals against Atleti. If you guys haven't seen that goal, go look at that goal. From the
Mhm.
build up, from back to front, and the assist from I believe it was Lo Celso, flicked it in, and he biked it in in the box.
Insane.
Clean goal. That same game, Alvarez banged a free kick like from. You remember Declan Rice's first free kick against Real Madrid? That about that
Yeah,
far
top
out,
bins.
top bins,
Mm.
crazy free kick. Speaking of Declan Rice's goal against Newcastle was pretty good.
Clutch.
Like a square ball from Odegaard, and he like wrapped it bottom corner. That's one way to seal Champions League football.
Hmm.
Yamal, this kid is I'm sick of talking about this kid
No
because he
effort.
scored two clean goals, one against Espanyol in the title deciding game, and another against Villarreal in the loss, both like Iron Robin style.
Yeah.
Um,
Cut in and let him have it.
yep.
Yeah.
Paredes scored a banger against Milan in AS Roma. That's another player that plays for Roma, by the way. Paredes, the
Yeah.
Argentine. He's
Messi's
got a
guy.
very, very good shot past Magnan. So
Mm,
that was a good game. Elliott's goal against Brighton because of Conor Bradley's wizardry.
mm.
Ball to Salah on the left. One time pass in the inverted channel that Conor was running into. He's in the box. Defender coming from his left, just magged him, squared it, tap in for Elliott. Clean goal. But we know who. I mean, these are all good goals, but we know Omar Mamouche wins this, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you had something to say about that.
I did have something to say about that because I've been watching football for some time now, and there's one goalie that just just gives Galozos. He just lends himself to Galozos. And I saw the goal. I saw the opposition that Man City was playing, and I just needed to I thought, and then I needed to see the lineup, and I knew. I knew there had to be one man in between the sticks, and it was Kepa. Kepa, biscuit hands, Arrizabalaga. He just has small hands.
Wait, wait first, just wait. That goal was unbelievable.
He has
He's
small
just
hands. You didn't let me finish. He has small hands. And I think that players know that. Finishers know that. And they're willing to take a chance and see what happens. And Marmoush did that this weekend. Or excuse me, earlier this week. And I think it's it's a beautiful goal. Oh my goodness. Oh my days, is it a
you
goal?
just wanted to this guy.
I
I
just
don't know.
I mean, it's just, I mean, he's a good goalie, a decent
But
goalie.
he's done well for them, to be fair.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I mean, technically he won a Champions League with me last season. So
Correct. So, and then I have him to thank for, I believe, the Europa League um, triumph as well. He was between the sticks,
yeah.
Hazard's last season. So I think, I take the good with the bad, but one thing that his weakness is, I mean, he will give a striker a top 10 Sports Center. No,
No,
goal.
no, 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 no.
That's just what he does. And that's what we have here for us today. So all credit to Omar Marmoush, but just another in the catalog of of, of biscuit hands. So
Well, listeners, Nelson just took took this another way to
I'm
just to
sorry.
slander Kepa for no reason whatsoever. But that was a clean goal, and I'll clip it up and I'll clip this and put the goal at the end of it to share with our viewers and followers.
Mhm.
IQ Player of the Week. Nobody really jumped at me this past week, but we spoke about it and we're like, you know what? Let's give it to Vards, Jamie Vardy,
Yeah.
for playing his 500th game for Leicester, scoring his 200th goal, 13 on the 13th year anniversary of his signing. I mean, the come up. I think Jamie Vardy is who, growing up when I still had hopes of playing pro, is I mean the people that people used to use as reference was Ian Wright because how late he started playing pro. I think 22 or something. And now people are going to reference Vards. I mean, he came into limelight pretty late,
Mhm.
and he's won everything domestically. I mean, he has
Yeah.
won the league, he has won the FA Cup, he's won Golden Boot, he has won the best player in the league. Um, he's won
One
the
of those
community.
players who's played like almost every division, not every division, but quite
Yeah,
good
I
with
mean,
quite a few.
incredible, and he's a proper striker, like a proper bagsman.
Yeah.
I feel like remember when the trend Barclays bagsman was going on.
Yeah. That's who
He
that, I mean,
plays like a Barclays bagsman. He's a
he's the
retro striker for real,
yeah,
like
I was about
still
to say
fast, still wiry. left foot, right foot shot. His prime, the goals that he was scoring, like, and
It was a
some of his
joke. Some of the one-time volleys that he scored in that
against
champion,
Liverpool, that goal against Liverpool was
that's the
disgusting.
one.
My
Oh,
favorite body goals, this is gonna sound crazy, is his tap-ins are like blast-ins. He doesn't do
yeah,
tap-ins, he does blast-ins. He just whacks it in
with
from two
authority.
yards out. But I just, I mean, we thought we should, pay homage to really a Premier League great, really, for his last game for Leicester City. And again, like leading up to the game, the build up of he's on 199 goals on 499 appearances. Can he do it? I'm like, yeah, he will. Like, I mean, you just could feel like he would go ahead and score. Just like when he was going to break Ruud's record of consecutive games with a goal
Mm,
in his peak. I think it was 11 or 12 games with scoring, and he broke it against United, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
which is ironic. But
written in the stars, as they
written in
say.
the stars, man. Jamie Vardy, respect. IQ Player of the
Respect.
Week. Um, Upcoming fixtures. I know we spoke about it a little bit in the beginning of the show. Uh, Inter is away to Como, so Fabregas, Fabregas' team.
Mm-hmm. It's coming
Nico
up.
Paz, my boy from Real Madrid, is at Como. Excuse me. So that's not going to be easy for
Mm,
Inter. And Napoli's at home to Cagliari. I think Napoli should be good. I mean, technically both of them should be good because Cagliari. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is 14th. Um, Como is 10th. So I would say a Napoli win is more likely
mm,
than anything. But again, anything can happen in the last
yeah.
last game. So we'll see. So both games are definitely must watch. Lazio is playing Lecce for top four. Torino is playing Roma, and Juve is playing. It's away to Venezia. So all those ones for top four as well. Um, in England, Villa playing United. I
Hmm.
didn't mean to bring it up to piss you off again, but Villa's playing United.
Yeah.
Um, Newcastle playing.
I'm curious to see how United. I mean, you think? What do you actually? I'm curious to hear what you think because in my mind, I don't think they're going to do anything. But do you think how will United respond after what just happened? Do you think there's a hangover from this defeat? Do you think they're going to try and end it on a good note? Do you think they play the lads, the young kids?
Yeah, I mean, they might play the young kids because there's nothing, literally nothing to play for.
Yeah,
They're
next
playing
season.
Old Trafford though,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's the only thing. But Villa should win that game. I mean, I
There's
don't
no
see. I
they
mean,
need it.
yeah, they do need it,
Mm-mm.
and I mean, I don't like really like confidently saying one team will win or the other because this game of ours will
Oh,
shock you,
yeah,
but they should. Villa should.
for
Another
sure.
like Villa. This is what I envisage. Villa don't play particularly well, but win 2-0 or 3-1
Mm,
or 2-1 or something like that. That's what I envisage, but I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know
anything can
what's
happen.
up. Anything can happen, and it's in Old Trafford again, so
Mm,
we'll see. Newcastle's playing Everton at home. I know you spoke about it a little bit previously. Maybe Isak is back for that game, um, but you would think Newcastle at home with them desperately needing 3 points. Everton is not an easy team to play ever since
no,
Moyes back, but you
they're
would
very
think,
stingy.
yeah, you would think Newcastle will see it through, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Then the one that has like the 6 pointer is Forest, Chelsea at Forest. So how are you feeling about that game?
It's a final. It's probably out of the last two games that we have on the docket, which is the actual final, the
Betis?
conference league game final, and this game against Forest. I'm concerned. I think Forest has kind of fallen off a little bit, but not enough for me to feel. optimistic,
Yeah.
especially on the. I mean, I think Chelsea's 5 wins in their last 8, but
Mm.
in the last 10 away games, we've won. Maybe I think it's. I have to look, but I think it's like somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 5. It's not good. Um, I think we yeah, I don't want to misquote the
Yeah.
statistic, but we are not good on the road at all. And this is a very important game for Forest. They've played, I mean, they were in the top 4 the entirety of the season. I'm concerned they're playing for Taiwo Awoniyi. Every goal they scored this past season, they poured it. I mean, Nuno's got these guys locked in, and I'm concerned, largely because, and I won't ramble too much, but largely because I think this past game against United, it took 70 minutes for us to get a goal.
Yeah.
We played Tyreek George up front. He's not a striker. I think Pedro Neto is not a striker. I said that on the last
No.
meeting, and that's a problem. It's not gonna, scoring goals is not gonna be easy for us. I think back to last year, the reverse fixture where we again similarly when Pochettino was in charge, we needed this Newcastle fixture, and it took Nico Jackson. I think we went down. Um, I want to say we went down a goal. I think to Adoy. I think we might have won. Long story short, Nico Jackson had to score late on in that game to give us the points. That was kind of the turning point for our season last year, the final finish. But it's a big, massive game, and I think they'll come out firing. So, lot,
Yeah.
lot to watch.
Well, we'll see. And of course, next time we record will be right after the the Conference League finals. So that will probably be our uh, IQ game of the week that would break down tactically next week. Um, and
Wow.
for your sake, I mean, hopefully it's a happy one.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
two. Yeah, so I have 2 finals between now and the next
the
recording,
next one,
and
yep,
yeah, you
yep.
could see I had a grin today. It will not be there if things don't go the way they need to go. Um, and that's just it.
That's just
Um,
it. That's just it.
that's just football. So
That's just football. We'll go again, and next week as well um, would figure out how to wrap up this huge weekend in Spain. Uh, touch the final,
it's gonna
the
be a long
conference final,
episode. Y'all just
and
need to get ready. It's a long
preview,
episode.
yeah, and preview the Champions League final. So I'm excited. My season is over, so I'm just vibing here.
You're just watching. Yeah, as a third party, it could not be any more entertaining. Honestly, last month of football has been fantastic. So,
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, any last words?
um, I know we were just saying shout out PSV for tracking down, catching up to Ajax, which is the team to be in Amsterdam. They have been for some time. I know there's
Yeah,
every now and then they'll switch, but Ajax is the team. So,
they
um,
run that league. Yeah,
yeah, it's this is the year of underdogs, man.
underdogs. Yeah, I should. Yeah, good call because I should have brought them up. Like, what? I mean, I know you followed it a little closer than I did, but I think they were up 9 points with
I
six
think it
games
was
to
9.
go,
Yeah,
and they that is a bottle job.
yeah, that is a massive ball job. So, yeah, man. These underdogs are Forrest is an underdog and Batiste is an underdog, so I'm scared. But we'll see. We shall
We'll
see.
see. We'll see. Anyway, let's lift up the mood because I
Oh
can
yeah.
tell you're already. Let's lift up the mood and end it positively. So, thank you guys for listening.
Yes, sir.
Catch you guys next week.
Peace, y'all.